What's up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and my hand is throbbing right now because I'm with
Gershwin.
That's not the only thing that's throbbing for the greater.
WAAAGH! This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get those questions first. That is what
Nodosa has asked and done. Life after death. What happens when a human dies? Do certain people go to the afterlife depending on their deeds? What about the orcs in the Tau, or even chaos demons?
Don't you worry, we're going to break it down for you depending on everything. Or depending on the race. So let's start with the most obvious ones, humans. What happens when a human dies? His psychic essence goes into the Imperium, and as long as the Emperor... I feel like the Emperor would protect you regardless. But it would be... he has a thing called the Army of the Light, just like Lupe Fiasco. Google Lupe Fiasco and Army of the Light to learn more. But basically, that is... I think that he's absorbing all those souls, and that's how he's becoming a god in the warp.
Right. Now that's humans if they worship the Emperor.
Yes.
However, there are humans who sell their souls to the devil, per se. The devil being Zeech, Korn, Nurgle, even minor gods as well. And whatever god they pledge themselves to, that's who gains their souls. Which essentially you're fueling the god that you're pledging yourself to.
Yep, you're being consumed by that entity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, jumping over to Eldar. Eldar have a similar thing to Chaos, where if an Eldar soul dies and it doesn't get trapped into the Soul Stone, which is just a little pendant that they wear, then it gets absorbed by the Chaos God Slaanesh.
Mm-hmm.
If it stays within the Soul Stone, then that Soul Stone can then be transported to the Infinity Circuit, where it's basically a giant computer with the life essence of that specific Eldar,
mm-hmm.
and then that Eldar you can log back into that Eldar and talk to them and stuff.
Or you can place it on a Wraith construct and have the ghosts or the spirit, the soul, pilot the construct.
Yep. So yeah, the Eldar mythology and the Eldar lore, as you know, pertaining to death, is actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
And it's something that we need to pay more attention to.
I think Eldar in general is just something we gotta focus on because they're sneakily really appealing.
Yeah. And then the orcs, when they die, they just die. They release spores. Nothing special.
There's no afterlife for orcs?
Not really.
They don't even have like a concept of like, oh, we go to like Valhalla and we keep fighting forever.
No, there was an Imperial scholar who one time he noted that the orcs don't bother to ask questions of like what happens to you when you die, why do you exist. All they know is war, and that's why they're so successful. And like other races should envy the simplicity of the orc mind. So orcs don't even care about the afterlife or death or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then who else? The Tau.
Yeah, the Tau. I don't think they really talk much about the afterlife. I think their lives are all for the greater good. They're in servitude to the ethereals. Well, not even to the ethereal. And yes, they're in servitude to the ethereals, but that's because the ethereals have been feeding them the greater good concept. Your lives are meaningless. Use your life to benefit the greater, and that greater being good.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how the Tau, I feel, it really is the faction that would be humans. Because, like, what happens to you when you die? Nothing. Same thing with the Tau. Like, what happens to the Tau? Nothing. There's no, like, magical, like, warp connection or anything like that.
Right. Chaos demons. Demons are just manifestations of their gods' power, so they just go back into the warp, and either they go back into the god, or they just manifest again as a demon.
Yep.
Depending on what demon you are and how much power, for example, if you're like a named character demon, and I think it takes like 10,000 years for you to be reborn in the warp, something weird like that. Or maybe you're reborn into the warp, but it takes 10,000 years to be able to go back into real space.
Yeah. That changes because I think Angron, he was banished and then he came back a shorter time because there's ways around it, which is kind of funny. That you could just, because to banish a demon, you just have to know his name, and everybody knows Angron's name.
Yeah, right.
So yeah. And then Tyranids, it's just biomass, ass.
They turn to soup.
Soup.
I feel like we're forgetting somebody.
Yeah, I do too.
Oh, Necrons.
Oh.
For most of the Necrons, they're just mindless warriors, souls inhabiting a body. Their body dies, but their soul goes back to the tomb world to be put into another mechanical body.
And if you're a Necron Lord and you die, that's it. Just like the Tau.
Yeah.
Just like you. In real life. The afterlife is meaningless. Next question comes from Gecko Man. I'm a Salamanders player, and I was wondering, do you think Tushan will become a Primarch, and do you think Vulcan will return in the Psychic Awakening? So no to the Vulcan returning in the Psychic Awakening. I think everybody has come to the conclusion that Sanguinius is the next Loyalist Primarch to come out. Probably this Christmas season. Maybe, right?
I'm hoping.
And then Tushan, will he get a Primaris? I think so, at some point, because he's not in Terminator armor, and there's nothing special about him, right?
And as far as I know.
Yeah, so eventually, yeah. I'm going to do a 40 facts video on the actual, what is it, a captain? The new one?
Oh, the one that model? Turned Primaris?
Yeah. But yeah, he's not like the big name character for the Salamanders. Just like the Imperial Fist guy was not Lysander, unfortunately. I really wanted Lysander to be that guy. Yeah.
This one is by General Revan. If McDonald's, Burger King, etc. still existed in 40K, do you think they would make burgers out of human flesh? And would they also try to put any of these joints in a local Xenos planet?
So, no, they would not.
They need humans to be the grunts of industry.
Yeah, what they would use is called a creature called Grox. Check out our 40 facts on the Grox. Basically, they're reptilian cattle, but much more dangerous than like cattle. And that's what you find on agri-worlds and stuff.
But would they actually, colonize Xenos planets to set up shop?
No, it's against the law in the Imperium to have a business, for the Tau Empire or for like the Eldar or the Orcs. So there are rogue people that do it though, just like how there are certain negotiations with the Tau Empire. I'm sure that on some planets near the Eastern Front, is it called the Eastern Front? Yeah, I think, right?
I think so.
Eastern Segmentum? I can't remember. I'm pretty sure they do have some type of like that. Some type of Imperium business in Tau culture, and you can create fluff around it if you want. Just know that it is illegal and wouldn't fit for the grander thing. It's raining outside.
I heard it.
Next question.
Last burn. Why isn't there a chaos god that would mind his own damn business? It's not in their psyche.
No.
Their karmas would be all out of funk if they did that.
They nosy.
And that's the wheel of chaos. It's always turning. If you mind your business, you're not making the wheel turn. So you got to get with the times.
Unless it's like a center.
That's true. That could be the center of the wheel, and everything else is
moving around it. Maybe that's the Emperor. Maybe it's the Emperor who's minding his business and just sitting there quietly.
Yeah. Everybody else is like doing their thing.
Yeah. Next question comes from Timothy Armstrong.
The Emperor would be that friend that like goes with you guys to eat, and when you talk to him, he's like, "Huh?"
He looks up from his phone.
Yeah.
Why are you even here? But then he goes away, and it's sad.
It's like, oh, we need you. Say "huh" once again.
Next question comes from Timothy Armstrong. What is the tainted order of the piercing thorn? It sounds like a chaos cult, I believe.
I thought it sounded like a Sisters of Battle. Like
tainted order of the piercing thorn, like a chaos.
Oh, it's tainted order.
Yeah. It might. I feel like it's a cult. I would have to look into it. I'll do a 40 facts on it for you though, if you want.
It sounds pretty cool though.
Mm-hmm. Next question.
Oh, this one's by Benjamin Manning. Excuse me. What would be the overall reaction if during the Great Crusade an undiscovered Primarch killed a Primarch who was already serving the Imperium?
Wait, say that one more again?
What would happen if during the Great Crusade one of the undiscovered Primarchs was discovered by a Primarch, but that undiscovered one killed the one that was already with the Imperium? So, like, let's say Angron wasn't discovered yet, and, like, Fulgrim came in and, like, hey, join the Imperium. They got into a tussle, and Fulgrim died.
I don't think it could have happened just because the Primarchs fought a lot. Mm-hmm. During the Horus Heresy, Lorgar got his ass beat by everybody, and he didn't die.
Yeah.
So if two Primarchs went at it, I don't think they would be able to kill each other.
I mean, Lehman Russ was able to break...
Magnus is
back, yeah.
But he didn't kill him.
That's true.
Then Lehman Russ and the Lion got into a fight, and the Lion actually knocked out Lehman Russ.
But that was a sucker punch, though.
Was it? I thought they fought for like 7 days.
Yeah, they fought for like 7 days, and then Russ just started cracking up. And as he was cracking up, the Lion was like, "Oh, you're making fun of me," and.
But that goes to show you, they fought for 7 days and they didn't kill each other.
Can you just imagine their freaking, like, forces, like the Blood Angels, or the Dark Angels, and the Space Wolf just, like, patiently waiting for 7 days?
Well, they start hearing, like, explosions and, like, buildings are collapsing from them, like, fighting, like, in DBZ or whatever. It's like, you just see, like, lightning everywhere. That's how it was described when Magnus and Lehman Russ fought. They were moving so fast that even the Space Marines with their superhuman abilities could not keep track where they were going.
That's always hard for me to comprehend because they're like giants and they're moving that fast.
Yeah.
They got like heavy armor on and everything.
Well, it's kind of like that one, the cinematic trailer, like fan-made one that everybody talked about for a while. The Horus Heresy one. Where like there's little kids and like women like running away from
Death of Hope.
Yeah, Death of Hope. Those Marines look big and bulky, but they move very like
fluid and fast.
Yeah.
But still, like, to know that Primarchs move so fast that like regular people wouldn't be able to comprehend what's going on, that's crazy.
It's mind blowing.
I actually want to see that now. If you're an animator, make it happen. I mean, obviously it looked like blurs, but never mind.
Well, it would be like in Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, where like
you just see like sparks.
Slow it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, because in DBZ they don't even do that. They just show like the sparks that hit in the different areas.
Yeah, it's like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, boom.
that's the noise.
Yeah. Next question comes from Ali Parada. Is storming the Emperor's Palace while Naruto running a good idea? They can't stop us all. Yes, they can. So, the cool thing about the Emperor's Palace is that there is a giant gate called the Eternity Gate, and on either side of the Eternity Gate are Emperor-class Titans.
Yes.
2 of them. Emperor-class Titans are massive. Sometimes they reach, like, the top spheres of, like, a planet. Yeah, you wouldn't. All of the Naruto runners that have ever existed from this point to like the beginning of time could not invade the Imperial Palace.
They ain't clapping no alien cheeks.
Next question. And this will be the last question.
The last question. This one's by Robbie. So I'm new to 40K, but I want to know, how many decades did it take from going to Warhammer 30K to 40K? At least in the lore.
Oh.
Because it'd be obviously 10K. Yeah.
Wait, so, yeah.
Well, it didn't really happen like that.
Wait, what is he asking?
Because he's asking, based on the lore, how long did it take for like the GW and the writers to go from the Horus Heresy all the way to now? Because it didn't go chronological.
Okay.
It's not chronological. Like,
yeah.
It's not like, oh, GW started in like, let's say 1990 or whatever, and they started with 30K, and like now they're in like the 40K plus era.
Right. It's always been Warhammer 40K, and they've always told the story of Warhammer 40K, the 41st millennium.
Right.
And then what they did is that the Horus Heresy series, the novels, and then the miniatures came out for Forge World, so they went back to 30K. There's a 10,000 year gap in between where like you fill that in yourself.
Because even now they're not even done with the Horus Heresy novels.
Right.
So it's not like they've already caught up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's still ongoing.
Yeah, and then as that's going, GW, because there's two companies, so it's Forge World and
Games Workshop.
Games Workshop. Well, they're part of it.
They're all under the same.
And then, so as that's going on, the 30K, they decide to advance the 41st millennium to the 42nd millennium, which is where you get the Primaris, Vigilis, the Plague Wars, the second whatever of Terra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Second whatever of Terra. I'll remember it dearly.
So I hope that makes sense. Don't try to... I've been working on a script for the timeline of Warhammer 40K, but I think the flaw that I've done is I tried to start with the old ones. I should just do like individual, kind of like I did with the orcs. So like start the history of the Imperium from the point where the old ones probably created them. But yeah, to better understand the lore. But know that there's, like you said, no chronological order.
They jump around from timelines to timelines. I mean, yes, theoretically you could start in 30K and read your way to where we are now, but you're going to have gaps in times.
And a lot of things are not going to make sense because things that they're writing now contradict things that were written in the 40K.
Right, vice versa. They might have forgotten a few things, or you're going to be like, who are the sensei? Or, they're not a thing anymore, and stuff like that.
Yeah. And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, comment down below. We enjoy answering these questions. Bye.
Palabra de Dios.
This is Gershwin.
Sound Alchemist.
Oh, if you could put my freedom